Hey, what's going on? Miguel, the host of Life Little Circle Radio, and eventually I'm going to go ahead and rebuild that scene, so I'll stop doing that every week. Anyway, so Saturday, we were all chilling. I think it was Saturday. We were all chilling, and then I see, I wasn't chilling. I was driving back from another basketball tournament, which was what I've been doing all summer. And I saw on social media that Donald Trump, there was an attempt on his life. And so here we are. 2024, it is July. The Republican convention is starting today. It started today. J.D. Vance has been put on the Republican ticket as the vice presidential candidate. So pre-beard, he was a Trump hater, and now he grew a beard. All of a sudden, he's a Trump lover, and now he's the VP nominee. So that's where we are. So we're going to talk today a lot of heavy Trump stuff here today. We're going to try to get into that conversation and figure out what in the hell is going on because we in trouble, boss. We in trouble. Anyway, here we go. Follow us on all the social medias, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. X wouldn't let me broadcast today. I guess he must know that I'm not a big fan of Trump. Super producer, and of course, everything is just tripping today. Here we go. Super producer, what the deal?
What's going on? Happy Monday. We took a couple weeks off because, the summer, everybody got a ton of stuff going on. Miguel traveling like crazy. But you take a couple weeks off and then the shite just hits the fan. And now we're back.
Yeah, man. So this weekend, not even this weekend, Thursday and Friday will be the last tournaments of this year. Cool. And so we they say we're not traveling, but they kind of gave us 22 fake out because it's North Georgia. It's damn near to Chattanooga, Tennessee. So we still going to be.
It's still a long drive. And it's like a 4-hour drive?
Yeah. Well, no. Chattanooga's only about 2 hours. We're going to, it's about an hour and a half away. It's a facility they have up there. Yeah, Andre coming out the gate, say you pouring his crown, bro. But pour me one too.
So, drinkers unite, because you're gonna need it.
So all right, so here we go. Donald Trump was shot at. Notice I didn't say Donald Trump was shot.
Or Donald Trump was assassination attempt. We can't even say assassination attempt because I don't think anybody really knows what that was.
Oh no, it was an assassination attempt. I would definitely yeah, absolutely. Yeah, someone of his caliber is definitely, you would have to consider that an assassination attempt. So, but here's the thing, and for people who be watching this, because it's so funny, people's memories are just so short in today's time. So people may pop up on this episode 6 months from now and be like, what happened? So, this guy, and they always seem to find, whenever there's an assassin involved, they always seem to find out his middle name. So, Kia, find what his name is. There's always the middle name, and there's always some young guy who was.
His name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. He is a 20-year-old. I know people hate when we say this about young enough. He's a 20-year-old idiot child.
Incel. Yeah.
Sure, whatever.
There were other classmates of his who said that he was a kid that was bullied incessantly. Father bought him the gun. It's almost like, blah. Can we just hit rewind and just every time this happens, just the same storyline, right? It's a rinse and repeat. It's a rinse and repeat. But here's the thing: when it's all said and done, Donald Trump has to be. And I'm not going to say he's blessed. He's got to be the luckiest mofo in the world. Because even if this era is, it was staged or whatever, it feels like it was staged. It does feel like, but it would have to be some old Oscar-winning staging to do this. Here's the thing. Here's what I believe. They keep saying that he was shot by a bullet. I believe that it was a shard of glass from the teleprompter.
And then the CIA has come out and said, the FBI has come out and said he was hit by a shard of glass from the teleprompter, right. Which probably hit him at a pretty hard impact. It's a bullet hitting glass. Of course, it's gonna
Because we're talking about an AR round, which people who are much more fluent in guns and all of that than I am. The rounds that come out of those bullets are not small rounds, right? Here's what has me questioning what hit him. If it went by his ear, right ear, this way.
Yes.
And he's got this long blonde hair. How does it go by his ear and it doesn't touch his hair and there's no blood on his hair? No blood on his hair. Somehow that it hit it, and it just all the blood just trickled down and went down to the front of his face.
I have a response for that.
Go
The
ahead.
reason why it went to the side of his face is because for some reason he's got the Willow Smith in him and started whipping his head back and forth like in this weird way, which is slinging blood everywhere. And then
But
you
in
see
his
this.
hair.
That's what it looked like to me. Like
That
you can see him start slinging his head back and forth. But what's really sad about this, and no, a lot of people aren't talking about this, enough people aren't talking about this.
mhm,
Somebody died.
absolutely.
Like I don't know if this was staged or not. I don't know. And maybe it wasn't staged by the Trump campaign. Maybe it was staged by whatever little group that little boy belonged to who thought if we make him a martyr, this will help because it is helping. We can't lie and say that him now coming off as a superhero isn't helping.
Yep.
Maybe this boy thought this would be a really smart idea to help Donald Trump, that I'm going to do this on my own and it'll be great and blah, 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 blah. But somebody died. A father died. A firefighter died.
Here's the thing, and I'm not going to jump myself into the mind of those folks. We've seen it now 100 times. We've seen the video 100 times, right? The gentleman, the firefighter who died, they said he was covering up. You know, he jumped on top of his family. You have to take that to be what it was. Bottom line is the man is dead. Two other people were injured.
Yes.
Several shots were let off. The more we're seeing video of people who were standing in the grass, pointing up and saying, "Hey, there's a guy on that roof. What is he doing? He's laying down," and supposedly all of that did not alert any law enforcement to respond.
So that so
150 to
that posed a
200 yards away.
question. Suppose a better question. Are the police officers there and the Secret Service all of a sudden so inept that they're ignoring it? And it wasn't like the boy was hiding, not even hiding in plain sight. You could see him. I can see you. Like when little kids try to hide and
Right,
seek
right,
and then they're like
right,
standing next to the tree.
right,
Like I can
right,
still see
right,
you. And
right.
no one is eagerly going to go and figure out why this boy's on the roof. Why is the roof even open? We have been alive for many years, you a little bit more than me. They don't let you be on no roof, no stairs, no nothing when there's a presidential event.
They're
Never.
talking, they're talking about a police officer climbed up the ladder that he used to get up there, looked at him, and realized, like, what are you doing? And then for some reason he comes down, and that's when he took the shot. None of this stuff is adding up to me, right?
It doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense that this guy, you're talking about, every time they show the imagery, it's 4 or 5 buildings, of which the Secret Service is on top of one of those buildings, right? And you're trying to tell me that in your perusing as a sniper, all the people in the crowd have already gone through magnetometers, so you can pretty much
Oh yeah,
rest
they've gone
assured
through
that
the machines and the
they
everything.
don't
You
have any weapons.
have his bag in here, and yeah, they've gone through
So
all of
it's
that.
right. So it's 2 or 3 of you snipers on those roofs, and you're telling me nobody saw this guy. It wasn't even like he was in clothes that matched the roof, like he camouflaged himself. He was in a regular old t-shirt and some jeans, bro.
Like he had just got off work. He just got off work, took off his advanced auto parts top shirt, and was like, "Let me just go do this." It doesn't.
let
It
me,
doesn't. And that's why people think it's staged because it's so stupid. It's and not stupid in a funny way, but like this is dumb. This doesn't make any sense.
if they are that diabolical, we are in trouble, big time.
The crazy thing is, or the good news, I guess, is that a lot of people, even Republicans people, are not buying it. A lot of people, Republicans, are just like, well, okay, but we didn't understand this, and this doesn't really make any sense, and why was this person here, and why would the cop go up? And to hear them all kind of questioning it, maybe not questioning if they're going to vote for Trump or not, but questioning that
Right,
this
right,
doesn't
right,
make
right, right.
sense.
That's the point. They're not questioning if they're going to vote for Trump. They're not questioning that. They're going to vote for Trump. And now they got this 39-year-old who, when he was naked faced, he was all a Trump. Trump was the next Hitler. Now he didn't grow a beard. All of a sudden, he's the vice presidential candidate.
So if anybody doesn't know who JD Vance is outside of his politics, he's also an author. His book actually, do you remember the book that he wrote?
No,
He wrote the book is it called Hillbilly Elegy?
something like that. Yes, I do remember seeing the
Is
name.
the book called that? The book must be called that, but they also made a movie out of his book. And it's basically about his life story, growing up with the mom who was
Okay.
bipolar, manic disorder, you know, who was on drugs or meth or something, and he had to grow up with his grandma, played by Glenn Close. It was a well done movie, and a lot of people grew a lot of respect for JD Vance, and he turned that respect with his book of him being the redneck kid who had to grow up dirt poor, who made something of himself. He used that as a political jump off, and people thought he had political capital. Still had political capital after he just said that Trump was stupid and he's the worst. And
He evidently does have
now
political capital. They wouldn't have put him on the ticket.
Well, no. He has political capital with the Trump group now, which is weird to me. Is how he basically called him stupid for a long period of
Trump does
time.
not care. Trump said, how many Twitter followers does he have? Right? And is he loyal? And that's pretty much, the metric.
And
That,
rednecks are loyal, so they
and
there's that.
as long as they're loyal enough to get him into the White House. Now, once he gets into the White House, all bets are off. He'll be like next week. He'll be telling people don't sell his books and put them in the library. We don't like him anymore. Get rid of his books. But I just look at this situation and I sit back and I say to myself, when it's all said and done, now you have the media ad nauseum. And here's the thing: first thing the Biden administration does. Oh, we're gonna come out. We're gonna make our statements. We're gonna pull down all of our media because this isn't the time. You think the Trump and Republicans think this isn't the time? They didn't raise money all of a sudden. The most perfect him with his fist in the air and blood running down his cheek and the American flag behind him. It was on T-shirts in an hour.
Well, here's the problem. This worked when they thought it was some liberal crazy person doing this. Now they which is another reason Phyllis' stage. They had their stuff ready when it was a liberal person. They were in there like printing it out. Then when that changed, there's been nothing rolled out
But it
about
doesn't.
this
But here's the
outside
thing.
of merch. Outside of merch.
It hasn't changed. I watched. Who was it? Oh, Dolphin Teeth. I watched Dolphin Teeth get up there.
Tim Scott. That's what we call him. We
Tim
call him
Scott.
Dolphin Teeth. Tim Scott.
He was on. And here's the thing. After a while, I was watching MSNBC. I was watching CNN. I said, let me flip over here to Fox. Let me see what they're saying. And I just so happened to flip it when Dolphin Teeth was coming up there for an interview. I think it was Sunday morning. And he ran out every last one of the tropes. It was
Bible verses.
the Bible verse. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. He rolled out, the Democrats fomenting violence. It's the left wing media who fomenting violence, and and basically called Trump a superhero. And oh, by the way, you ain't get the job, buddy. You ain't get the job.
I hope he feels dumb.
He
You've
probably
done
does.
all this shucking, literal. We as black folks sometimes when we see someone who's skin folk but they're not kin folk, we say shucking and jiving. But he is the epitome of shucking and jiving. Don't nobody want you, bruh. You out here trying to get a man to want you, to value you, to appreciate you, and he has told you multiple times, "No, I'm cool. I don't like black women." Like that is what he's saying to you, basically.
Like I
don't
just
like black
look at
women.
this stuff and it's just wild to me, man. And here's the thing. And then Biden comes out and he not only does he make a statement from the Roosevelt room, then he comes back and does a whole basically he's giving this stuff way more attention than it probably should have gotten.
But even funnier, he's also paying it the proper attention. Trump still has not acknowledged the supporter who died. His raggedy ass crackhead son also nobody from the RNC has acknowledged the man who died. None of them have.
We keep
If
on
I was
trying
their
to wait
family,
for these
I'd be
people.
pissed.
We keep on trying to wait for these people to be good people. They're not good people. They're not. They're not going to come out here. That man was probably golfing today. There was no personal call. There was no go on television and talk about. He's going to wait until he makes his speech, whenever he makes his speech this week. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know what the lineup is for the Republican National Convention tonight.
I'll pull it up. But just so we can say it out loud, the firefighter who died, his name is Corey Comparatori. I don't want to say, I'm sorry, guys. The Italian last names always get me.
Yeah.
And he leaves behind a wife and a daughter. And the daughter basically said, what no one is saying is that my father was a good father. He was a good man.
Right.
He was a firefighter. He was this good
Right.
person. None of her post was really about politics. Like, I lost my father.
They went to a rally to cheer on their candidate.
Which is great, by the way. That's great.
Hey, man, do you?
Do you?
And then this man lost his life, and the person that caused him to lose his life by his presence hasn't even made a public acknowledgement of him or the two other people who are in critical condition. We don't even know their
Yeah.
names unless I'm missing something. We don't know their names either.
Let me see if I can find
You
them.
just imagine the children that were there that are traumatized.
Oh wait, David Dutch, 57 of New Kingston, Pennsylvania, and James Koppenhaver, 74
Yeah.
of Moon Township, Pennsylvania, are in stable condition, says police said Sunday in a news release. Dutch and Copenhagen are recovering at Allegheny General Hospital, according to hospital officials.
Yeah. You know, we keep, here's the thing, liberals, Democrats, progressives, those people, we ain't even been on here since the Not Like Us video came out. It's pretty dope. But
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in a
yeah, we
lot.
talk about that later. But these are really the leadership of the Republican Party, which are the Trumpsters, are not good people. And y'all can jump in my DMs and try to sit up here and blah 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 blah. The Democrats have bent over backwards to try to calm this storm and try to talk about this is not about violence and all the things that they've said and done over the course of the last 3, 4 days.
And they started a GoFundMe for them. The GoFundMe's goal was $1 million. It's now well over $4 million for the family. And I'm hoping the family actually gets these donations. I hope this doesn't turn into, well, Trump was a victim too, so he's getting a large chunk of this. It should go to these three families who were actually legitimately harmed. What are the chances? What are the chances this is going to happen, that these people get this money?
I don't know how that works. I don't know if it's a GoFundMe and how that works. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that we are in trouble, boss. We're in trouble. When it's all said and done, when you look at what is going on, this has turned him into a superhero. Like, this is Thanos right now, for real life Thanos. And there are no Avengers on the other side. If there are any Avengers on the other side, their names are Michelle and Barack Obama. But that's it. Like, who else on the Democratic side could come out right now and make enough of noise to distract us from what is going on right now?
So let's ease into that a little bit, because I'm also a little pissed that people like George Clooney and some other people are calling for for Biden to step down so that a better candidate come up and play. Hey, I'm gonna ask the same question that Miguel just asked. Who? Like, his crickets are right.
With two or 3 months left before, so when you start talking about, I consider myself a branding and communication specialist. I'm pretty good at that. There is nobody right now outside of that are eligible to run for president, because Barack can't run again because he's already did his 2 terms.
And he doesn't. I doubt he wants to, even if he
But
could.
that's it. The only other person who could make some noise in that spot would be Michelle Obama.
And she has said no multiple times.
And she done said multiple times, y'all can kiss my ass. I don't want no bits or pieces of this nonsense, right? So then you say, who's on your bench? I believe from a visual standpoint, Gavin Newsom looks like, that people will get behind him, but it's too late. This is stuff we should have been done a year ago. So now you've got that stuff. Shit needs to sail. The communications people, the fundraising people need to get off that horse and start saying, okay, how are we going to prop up Joe Biden over the course of the next 3 months? And the way, now Trump is considered a superhero because someone shot at the king and they missed.
Hold that one. I'm trying to pull up something. What I'm annoyed by is the fact that these celebrities did this.
Because
why would you guys in this kind of climate? Why would you think this was a good idea? I mean, you got Rob Reiner, Stephen King, Ashley Judd, George Clooney. These aren't small celebs. Ashley Judd survived Harvey Weinstein, and that was a huge thing for her. Yeah. And George Clooney is married to one of the world's most prominent human rights lawyers. Like, his wife actually sent a warrant out for Benjamin Netanyahu, and you do this.
Because it's the pros and cons of being the big tent party. Because everybody likes to think and have their own little ideas on the left. Oh, you got the feminists over here, and you got the climate people over here, and you got the union people over here, and you got the black women over here, and then everybody says they got a problem with it. All the people say they got a problem with Donald Trump. They're all acquiescing right now.
Yes.
Like
And they
like
have, I've been they have made their little comments out in public. They have done their little tiny interviews that nobody really care about. They have made their comments, but they're just like, no, we're still going to vote for him. I just really, really don't want to. That's the sentiment among a lot of the senators and congressmen.
because they're
I'm
looking
going
at
to
the
vote
big.
for him because he's Republican. I just really don't want to.
It's because they're not even saying that. Please point me to a video of someone saying they even having that diet, that exercise anymore, because
Well,
they're
no,
getting
no.
what they want. Like they're getting what they want. You're talking about now. When you start talking about judges and talk about the laws that are being passed. Now you're getting this presidential immunity. Now you can put themselves in a position where I think it was the Lincoln Project released a video I think last week, which should scare the crap out of everybody. I'm trying to find it before we get off the show today, and basically talked about with this, and this was before the shooting. Basically talked about with the immunity deal that's up there now by the Supreme Court, he can pretty much executive order and do whatever he wants, whether it be him or any other president. But of course, if he gets back in there, who knows? Because they're already saying that if Biden wins this election in November, they're going to challenge it. And of course, if it gets to the Supreme Court, this Supreme Court, do you trust that this Supreme Court will not overturn that election?
I do. I do believe that I don't think they're going to overturn it. The Supreme Court may be conservative, but they seem to be sticking to the laws like as they apply. They seem to be. Because honestly, when you think about it, when it comes to the presidential immunity, that's in place now. So if Biden wins, if he wanted to kill Trump tomorrow, he'd be like, well, you guys said I could, so there's nothing you guys can really do about it. Like, it applies to everybody. Now, if they
Yeah.
overturn something like term limits for a
The
president,
president says
now
things
we
like he
have a problem.
says.
Well, we are we are, when
But
I'm
look, can I
looking
bring up
at.
another really interesting point that you and I talked about on Sunday? Is the fact that I walked out of church on Sunday because
Yeah.
I was disgusted with how my pastor handled it. I live in the Bible Belt in Florida. I live in a very pro-Trump city, and I walked into church with my family, and the pastor is doing a prayer for Trump, and not a prayer like we pray for his healing and we hope that he's well, because that's a prayer that should be for any president that goes through something like this. But then
Mm-hmm.
it was, no enemy formed against us shall prosper. We need to stand up against our enemies. They don't know what they did. It was that whole
What
thing
type? What
about
type? What,
them
what type
versus
of what type of church is it? A church that
it's a
we
white
that?
church. It's white church. It's white church. We live in a white area. There's not a lot of big black churches here in Claremont, Minneola. If we wanted to go to a black church, we would need to drive all the way into the city, which is really hard for us to do, with 3 kids, driving all the way into Metro Orlando for a black church. And then, Hindu church is something that we also attend to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, the Hindu pundits, pastors, would never, they don't even
Let me
mention
let me
it.
let me
They
let me
they
let me
mention zero
let me
politics.
ask you this question: Do you consider
Yeah.
whoever this man is? Do you consider him your pastor, or is he just the pastor of the church that you go to?
He's just a pastor of the church. We are not members of the church that we attend. We just don't. I don't. Ugh, I'm sorry for saying. You get a vibe in
No.
certain churches
Well,
that this is your home. Like when I
sure.
first started going to Impact Church in Jacksonville, before it was called Impact Church. What's the name of it before it was
Faith Christian
Impact?
Center.
Faith Christian Center.
Yeah.
That felt like home.
Right.
That felt like a happy place. I immediately wanted to dive into working in ministries and being there and being a part of it. It felt like the right place for me to be.
Right.
I don't get that vibe from
Right.
from them when I walk into the church. Is the minister, does he do a good job? Yes, he does do a good job. Is his message palatable? Yes. Is that what I want all the time? Not really. I'm not looking for palatable. I'm looking for an actual message.
Yeah.
The music is the music. I can't wait to go to a church where they keep the lights on during praise and worship, and I'm just praying they do one black song. Just do one. Put the guitars down and let the drums go a little bit. But my kids love it. We actually started going back to church as a way to get our kids acclimated to going to preschool. So that's why we started going back to church, to get them used to being around other
I
kids.
absolutely get it, because when we left Jacksonville, we had the same feeling, right? Faith Christian Center, now Impact Church. Big up my man Bishop George Davis, very good friend of mine. I haven't experienced a ministry like that since. And it's almost a testament on one end about how great that community, that church was, because like you said, I felt like I was a part of the ministry. I felt like it was the message. I didn't feel like I was sitting in front of a hypocrite every week.
Yeah.
And what I'm running into now are these folks that, and when quite full disclosure, we haven't been heavy churchgoers since we moved to Atlanta. We didn't find a church that really fit the mold that we were looking for. And then there was this Trump experience that had these black churches that I spent time in. I'll never forget one of my church that I attended for a short while in D.C. Was a part of the pastor Mike Freeman was a part of that when Trump was in office. That ministerial group that
Yeah.
came to the White House, and I was just like, wow, Pastor Mike, did you really do that? And the fact that they're leading with God and acquiescing to Trump will never make sense to me. And so for you to text me and say I just had to walk out of church because
I was hurt.
I'm
Like,
sure you were. I'm sure you
I,
were
I've
for
never
good
felt
reason.
that punch in the chest like that being in a
Yeah.
church. And I stormed, for lack of better words, stormed out of church. And the only person I could text was Miguel. Couldn't text my dad because he turned his phone off when he in his church. And my
Mm.
dad goes to a black church, so
Blackity.
I couldn't text him. My brother was probably asleep, so it was only Miguel to text. And I just could
Yeah.
not believe that this was happening in God's house, because the message that I thought should be coming out of all churches should be, as Christians, we need to be the one turning down this rhetoric. That, full stop. It shouldn't be about weapons formed against us or us and them. And it should be, as Christians, it is our duty to stop this. We should not be so hateful against each other for our opinions, for our political views, because at the end of the day, none of it matters. At the end of the day, we are all hoping for the glory of the kingdom of God. Is that not true?
Yeah,
That's what
absolutely.
we're hoping for.
That's what we're hoping for. But the fact that someone like Donald Trump, who it's amazing to me where we are, that he doesn't even have to tell the truth. He doesn't have to tell the
No.
truth because the truth does not matter to his supporters. The only thing that matters to his supporters is control. What matters to them is a white Anglo-Saxon male being in control of this country. That's all they care about. And for black folks in the ministry to ride with this because he gave he
Because
overturned
of
Roe
because of the
versus
dumbest
Wade.
stuff ever, because of abortion rights. It's all because we want babies to live. Well, hey, listen, Christian pastors, who's paying for those babies when they get here?
It
When
ain't.
those wonderful babies that everybody wants to be alive so much, when they get here, how are they surviving? Are they just living off air and water? Are we now implementing all these programs, which are technically welfare programs? With, as conservatives, we should not be wanting to add more welfare programs and having more government involved in people's lives. But if all these babies are going to be here, we want them just living on the street. How is this supposed to work?
It's I am really concerned about November, and what is to follow. I was like, this country can't be that crazy. I said, this country can't be that crazy. That we it's the echo chamber. Social media is an echo chamber. And social media will give you what you ask for it to give you and what it wants to give you. Right? It's like sometimes when I happen up on X and I say some of the stuff that gets fed in my algorithms. Like, why am I getting stuff from these conservatives? I hate most of them. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And it ain't. Well, let me not even say conservatives, because conservatives ain't the problem. It's the Marjorie Taylor Greens. It's the
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens.
And let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about this hoe. She works my last nerve because she can be extremely smart, and I appreciate her being extremely smart. I appreciate her being very steadfast about her opinions. I've watched her on other shows that aren't political, and she's very smart. But then she says something dumb like, "I'm throwing out my son's Superman and Batman shirts because I'm going to get him a picture of Trump because Trump's a hero." He's not a hero, guys. We are glad this man, and let's be clear on My Full Circle Radio, we are extremely glad this man wasn't killed on a live feed or in general.
Sure.
He should not be harmed. This should never have happened. But he's also not a superhero. Just like if it would have happened to Biden and Biden survived, it would have been a miracle of God because he's damn near dead now. but it's
But
just, it
but
wouldn't
stay
have
on
been.
that point. For people, and I'm looking for it, I can't find it right now. Candace Owens, as you mentioned, said following this deal with with Trump, and I'm paraphrasing. She's throwing out her Batman, Superman, Spider-Man
Her
costumes for her
sons.
kids, for her sons,
Hmm.
and because Trump is a superhero. And I sit back and I will never understand black people who think like Candace Owens. Outside of the fact that the first and the 15th, those checks must be really nice.
I'm technically Candace. Oh,
No, you're not.
that's
You're not technically
that's
Candace
crazy.
Owens. You're
That's
not
crazy.
technically Candace Owens. You're not. Stop it. You know exactly what I mean. I'm not talking
No, I
about
know.
conservative values. I'm not talking about fiscal responsibility. That stuff
You're
makes sense
talking
to me.
about it makes me money to act like this and say this
I'm
stuff.
I'm talking about the people who are if you because she ain't no light skinned, fair skinned, kind of
No.
mulatto black woman, right? She still got a
No.
pressing comb. She's still putting a perm in her hair. Like her
Yeah,
family, the people who are connected to her by blood, look
are
like
black.
us.
Blackety black. Black.
And Lord knows that those people that she's supporting and carrying the water for do not give two you know what about her and her family if she wasn't Candace Owens. And I just can't imagine turning my back on my culture like that. And it's not because it's so great to be black and it's great to be black, but we got a lot of issues that we have to deal with because of this country. And for you to sit up here and support the people who support making us lesser citizens, you know, one thing that I heard recently, and you know, because I've watched a lot of this nonsense last couple of days, and they talked about unity, and I heard one commentator say that this our country is not built on unity, and my ears perked up when he said that. He said democracy is based on conflict and having different ideas and you debating those ideas and you're not going to agree, but you do it civilly.
Hmm.
The other
Yeah.
thing that another commentator was saying, which I actually, once he explained it, I understood it and I agree with his position. The other thing that was coming, I was talking about that calling for unity, and both sides need to be calling for unity. What unity means? What unity means to us on a more progressive side, and what unity means to people on the right is two different things. And I'm explaining what I mean. The difference is unity to folks on the left or on the progressive side is, hey, see our side of this thing, give us a shot to live our lives, have the same job and income, and have the American dream just like you. Unity on the right is about assimilation. It is about we are the right ones. You need to follow us, and if you don't follow us, you're wrong, and we want to destroy you. There's two different ways to look at unity. You follow what I'm saying?
No, unity meaning join us and we'll be a unit once you bring your dumb butt over here and join us. Now we're a unit. But,
Right.
and
That's that's the
I get both
assimilation
sides.
of the right in comparison to the left that's saying just give us a shot and leave us the f alone and let us live our lives. And so unity doesn't mean the same thing for these two groups of people. And so when you hear Dolphin Teeth coming out talking about that the left are the ones that are stirring up violence and the media has been stirring this up for years, I don't understand how they say that with a straight face. Like skip that part of your comments because
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm with you. Seeing those posts and seeing that's all MAGA has to hold on to right now because it wasn't a liberal who did it. And they
right.
can't say that Biden did it. So now it's like, oh, you guys have been stoking violence. What are you guys talking about? You guys have been stoking violence since January 6th, if not before that.
Oh my
So
God,
it's
before
been
that,
the
way before that.
well, what I'm saying is like it's been ramping up, ramping up, ramping up, and now you guys have been pro AR-15, pro gun. Well, now one of your little Republican poster children, who also belongs to some cool gun club, got an AR-15 and tried to kill your candidate. So how does that work? Listening to the MAGA people on Twitter trying to scramble to blame somebody on the left, and you saw what Dolphin Teeth tried to do, and you're seeing other people try to do it, and there are a few people on Fox News who are just like, well, wait a minute, guys, that's not what's happened. That's not history.
Mm-hmm.
We have listened to Trump incite riot, not incite riots, incite violence and say things that have been particularly questionable. So we can't say that it's just the left doing that. It has been everybody. And I
Right.
appreciate the people who are saying that. So we're just in a very, very interesting time. Trump is going to milk this for
Oh,
all that it's
he's
worth.
gonna right now. It's going to take people having very short memories. It's going to take a miracle, and what concerns me is that this is going to energize Trump supporters. They're not going to sit out in November. They're going to be waiting.
But neither
Early
is
voting.
anybody else now.
They'll be right there.
Neither is anybody else now. I think the
Well,
fact that people who were
I'm not. I'm
but no,
still
but listen,
optimistic.
hear
But
me
go ahead.
out.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
The fact that a lot of people think that was staged hoax. People who were gonna stay home realize, okay, this is a big bag of BS. I'm not. I'm gonna vote now because this type of stuff shouldn't happen. Libertarians who they don't care either way. They plan on voting and they're not voting for Trump. Independents are not voting for
I don't know
Trump.
about libertarians not voting for Trump, but go ahead.
Remember, you didn't see what happened when he came to their convention.
Okay. I recall it.
Do
Now
you
that
remember
bring it
that?
up. Now that you bring it up, I recall it. Sure.
Yeah, they're like, absolutely not. And then we have, independents who are not voting for Trump. We have more and more Black people who see the ridiculousness of him pandering to us. He is pandering to us for our worst side than the Democratic Party ever did. Shoes, and they understand me because I got cases.
Well, there's a guy who they pulled it down. I want to say it was Forbes or somebody releases a Black guy, DEI guy, who writes his article that says that Black people are going to be able to relate to Trump now because he's gotten shot at. And I'm looking at
I
this,
saw that too.
and I'm just saying to myself, like, who gives these people ink? Like go sit down somewhere, coming and presenting this to the editor and saying, this is going to get us some clicks. Because all this stuff is absolutely clickbait. I'm sitting
It's
back and saying,
clickbait, and Black people don't appreciate it. Whether they weren't going to vote or not, they don't appreciate it. But that is our synopsis of what's going on politically. Can we change to a happier topic, please? Here's what we're going to do. Can we go to How What? And I'm going to ask you to pull up Kev on Stage's Instagram page. Kev on Stage.
Jesus.
Back, guys, with something funny and hilarious. Miguel's head has this. This is not the mastery tip. This is so far from the mastery tip.
You got to send me a note midweek to say fix whatever's making me have to jump in and out to get my camera to pop up. All right, so you want me to pull up Kev on Stage's Instagram?
Yes.
Kev on Stage. Go ahead and keep talking while I pull it up. I'll find it. What am I looking for in Kev on Stage?
You are looking for. Let me see if I want to. I didn't even know I had the ability to share my screen on my side, but I'm not even going to try to practice that right now because who knows what's going to blow up. You are looking for the post that says "Probably Bathe." It is number 9 from the top. It says "Probably Bathe." It's a lady wearing a green nursing uniform. Go down, go down, go down. Click on that. That says "Probably Bathe."
I saw this.
Turn the volume up. Let's go ahead and
Deep
talk.
breath. Breathe. In through your nose. Out through your mouth.
No.
So Michael's a fourth Japanese. He
One
thinks they have
time-
to bathe every day.
I'm 100% Black, and I also think they should bathe every day.
I did delayed bathing with both my kids.
After they were
Yes,
born.
that's because why would you need to? Why are they dirty?
Why are children dirty? Have you met a children?
Talk to us about how you only bathe your kids once a week. I want to know more about that.
Well, first off, I just let my kids do what they want to do. I have 4 children. I'm not going to fight with my kids over little stupid things like bathing.
So you just let them children do whatever they want to do. And you wonder why they...
What's the
I
age gap
just-
again?
Almost 10, 7, 5, and 2.
Woo, you're in it.
Yeah.
So you don't make them bathe every day. You'll just do when they want to once a week.
If it's once a week, like now they swim. We have a pool and they swim in the summer, so I guess we call that bathing.
No, you call that swimming. When you go swimming, you just got wet. You are not clean. You be musty in and musty out. If they ain't got no soap and washcloth under them underarms and in the nether regions, they go...
God, I love Kev on Stage, man. He is such a joy.
So when I watched this, I was like, I bathe my kids every day. And even if Devin get an attitude, he tried to act like we missed it. No, go. You didn't do it last night. Go do it in the morning. I'll do it later. I bet you will. You're going to do it right now because I told you to. Don't play with me. And we bathe the kids every night. Like, okay, so delayed bathing is a thing. Because when you first bring your baby home from the hospital, she's right. They're not dirty. And you can't bathe them anyway. So you just have to wait a little bit of time. And so if you only want to do it once a week, like how
But
often
not
did you
when
guys
they're
bathe
7.
the babies?
I don't even recall. I know that we had a little gentle soap and but now they musty, they basketball players. I wish they would come up in this joint. As soon as they come in here and try to sit on my couch, girl, take your butt up there, get out that uniform and go shower.
Ooh, not sit on the couch.
You better not
You
sit on the
better
couch
don't.
with the dirty uniform on. You better get out of here. It,
And
here's the
it's
thing.
so funny
Here's the
because
thing.
why
Here's
really
the
you
thing
think
about
this?
white brothers and sisters. We swear, we try. Just like Kev. Just like Kev said, have you met children? Do you know how the filthiness that the going outside for the kids who still go outside and play? But they just get musty playing video games. And you're gonna sit up and tell me, you're gonna let this child sit around and play video games for 3-4 days and without bathing.
So my twins are outside twins. And I remember the first time that they went outside, because it was weird because they always smelled good, even if they were outside playing with their dad fine. And I remember the first day they came inside and they walked around my dad's desk to ask me a question. And I was like, well, you smell like outside. And
Yo. I was getting ready to ask you, I was waiting for you to finish before because you have a interracial marriage. So your kids are black and Indian. Do
Yes.
Indian folks call it you smell like outside?
No, I don't know what I have to ask Omar, but he's never called it smell like outside. He always is like, you guys, you smell, you need to go take a bath. You smell, you need to go take a bath.
Smell like outside is such a black colloquialism. That is such a black thing to say.
But side note, when I first, Omar, don't get mad that I'm talking about this. When I first met Omar and Devin, they didn't use washcloths. They just used their hands to bathe.
There's a whole nother video out there. I think Kev might have done that one too.
So
let me say, so they assimilated to black culture. Now they use washcloths.
Because I wasn't having it. I wasn't having it. Like it was when we first started dating, and I walked into that bathroom. When I walked into his bathroom, and there was just the soap, and I was like, "Oh, do you have washcloths? What's a washcloth?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." we have Houston. We have a problem. But when those kids first came in here and they smelled like outside, I was y'all stank. We need to go get in the tub.
Smell like outside, boy. That was like I
Smell
was
like sunshine.
Huh?
Smell like sunshine.
No.
Family members in my family said that you smell like sunshine.
No, I've never heard that before. No.
It might be a Florida
That must
thing.
be a Florida thing. So here's the thing. All right. So anything else in what? Because Trump has gotten all the air, taking all the air out the world right now.
Drake is never living down They Not Like Us. I don't care if he could save a baby from a train tomorrow. He could be the Trump shooter. He could be Biden's new running mate, and he's never living down They Not Like Us music video. That music video was epic.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
While Miguel is pulling it up, one of the things that Drake
don't pull it up.
The reason why this video was so poignant is that Drake has made it a point to basically say that Kendrick Lamar is not from Compton. He doesn't go back to Compton. He's not appreciated by people from Compton. He did a whole video.
Who did that?
Dedicated.
Who said that?
Drake in his rap.
Oh, is this since Not Like Us?
No,
He dropped something
before.
else?
That's what made him do the video like he did because Drake kept saying, "You don't go back to Compton. They don't
Step
like
into
you
Wick's
there.
studio.
Nobody knows you there."
Yeah.
So Kendrick does this whole video that is a dedication to Compton. I don't know what that clown dancing's name is, but he does it to the architecture. He does it to the people, the dancing. Here's some part of it.
Yeah, no,
We can't play the music,
because I
'cause-
don't want us to get flagged too much, so I ain't gonna play much of it. But the artistry that Kendrick Lamar drops in his content, and the thought that whoever it is, along with his team, puts together, is amazing. Because even down to the number of PMZ or something, right? It's like you look at this stuff and you just say, dude. I always had this challenge in my mind about Drake, and I was like, okay, Drake has been doing this for long enough that we got to get his boy his respect. And I could just see Kendrick sitting back, once again, like the whole superhero and the villain piece, and him sitting back and saying, "I am your kryptonite." I just haven't decided to really come out the woodworks yet. I just want to see how this is going to end up when it's all said and done. But anyway, all right, what are you watching on TV before we get up out of here?
I am still watching House of Dragons. House of Dragons is really good. It's a little more sexually graphic than it needs to be. So I'm a little.
I think I haven't seen. I don't think we've seen the last two weeks. So we got.
There
some
was
catching up to do.
fellatio and full frontal on an episode, and there's no reason for that.
Like,
House of
why?
Dragons.
It's about dragons. Why y'all got?
It's a brothel, because why not? We finished Clipped. Me, my mom, and Omar all finished Clipped, and that was a story about the Clippers. It was actually really good. Now the people they got to play these people who are still alive was not good, but the acting was good. The storyline was good. It was a very compelling show. We finished The Bear. I don't know if you and Tracy watched The Bear.
No, Saran and I were watching The Bear, and I may just watch that on my own, just because. But I'm trying to see if you're gonna say what I'm watching, what I watched.
And then the last thing that I think I know what you're saying. Is it a movie?
No.
Okay. And I watched Divorce in the Black by Tyler Perry, which, by the way, wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Bro, it wasn't that bad. And I hate Tyler Perry movies.
When are you going to get past your disdain for Tyler Perry? It is what it is.
When he does better. What the hell?
I don't know how much better you want. The man is a billionaire and he needs to continue. But I can't believe that you didn't say you're not watching Supercell.
No, my brother already told me that we need to watch Supercell. So we're going to watch it. We just haven't started it yet. Everybody has said it's good. We need to watch it. So we are. We just haven't yet. It was a busy weekend.
You guys like that superhero stuff. So
we love it. The boys.
Yeah, so it probably is in the vein. It's not as graphic. Nothing is as graphic as The Boys. Nothing is as graphic. But it was interesting for people we're talking about. There's on Netflix. There is a 6-part show called Supercell, and what's interesting about it is that, and this is early on, so I'm not giving away much or nothing. But the black folks get these superpowers because they have the sickle cell trait. Okay. And so that part of it makes it very interesting because you have different characters that their family members have either passed on or they're dealing with sickle cell issues. And then, of course, that's where I'm going to leave it. But it's based in South London. So you got all the bruvs and you got all the English accents.
I love a bruv. I love a tracksuit.
Yeah, all the tracksuits and the bruvs and all of that. So it's pretty cool. For people who watch BMF from last season, the first season, I always forget the dude's name, but the dude that was the real villain in that series, he's in this as one of the superheroes in this. It's good. It's good. I'm not going to give you my criticism. My only criticism is that I think it took too long to develop the characters. I think they took.
Well, that always means there's going to be another season, doesn't it?
I hope that it is. It should be another season because the way they ended after the 6th episode, you were really like, "That's it." So there's that. Of course, I am watching Power Book 2. That just ended
Chicago.
I think, a couple of weeks ago.
The Chi. You're still watching The Chi?
The Chi just ended a couple of weeks ago. So it's going to pick back up, I think, in September, I guess. I don't know. What else am I watching? There's a show that piqued my interest, and I can't think of the name of it now. It's on Netflix, and it's kind of like an Asian gangster flick or series. And I think I might pick that up on Netflix.
We're going to watch Monkey Man this weekend, which is supposed to be awesome.
What is Monkey Man?
Monkey Man is the Indian version of John Wick. It stars Dev Patel.
I think I did see the.
Yeah.
Is it in the theaters or is it in the theaters or is that coming to one of the
It's on
streams?
Netflix now.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna check that out. And then lastly, what do you think about the Gladiator 2 trailer? Before I get
they can go to hell.
Why? I wasn't expecting that. Why?
because that movie died the proper way. Now y'all about to bring it out something stupid, and now we gonna add black folks in it. This is nothing. Nobody. I didn't ask for this.
See,
I don't want this.
that is true to form because there were black folks in the world at that time, so that ain't nothing new.
There were, but did they have enough power to be sitting there like Denzel?
Yeah,
You're lying.
yeah. So anything with Denzel will always get my attention because Denzel is Denzel. But it looks for some reason like the production on it just it looks a little cheap to me. I don't know what it is about it. And
It
it's
does.
hard to
It
do
looks
something
very
as
cheap
big
to me
as that.
too.
As big as that to do that cheap looking. I don't know. It's been a long time. Gladiator was out, 20 plus years ago. They keep on
Yes.
going back and digging up these old storylines and bringing them back out. The other thing before we get about here, did you see or did you catch wind that they're getting ready to do the same thing with Martin that they did with Bel Air? They're getting ready to make a dramatic series prequel of Martin. Did you see that?
Let's just hear the plot of Gladiator 2.
I moved on, but go ahead.
Lucius, the grandson of Rome's former emperor, Marcus Aurelius, and son of Lucilla, lives with his wife and child in Numidia, which is a real place. Roman soldiers led by General Marcus Aurelius invade, forcing Lucas into slavery, inspired by the story of Maximus as depicted in the original 2000 film. So they're taking the same storyline and just redoing it.
I'm not.
I'm not watching it. I'm not going. I'll wait till it comes on HBO Max.
Very seldom do I say I'm gonna make a stand and not go see a Denzel movie. I don't do that. Denzel is Denzel. He's like our acting superhero. But I don't know about this one. I don't know. All right. As I mentioned before, she reeled us back in. As I mentioned, Martin prequel drama series in the works from Martin Lawrence and Wonder Hill Studios. So they're going to take his character and do a drama-based prequel, kind of like what they did with Bel Air. And I don't know about this.
I'm not watching that. It was done once with Will Smith's with
Bel
Bel Air. I don't think it
it's
needs to
really
be done
good.
again. We're just doing the same thing. I think if they did this like an everybody hates Chris situation for Martin, I think that would have been the better route to go.
Well, here's the thing. People aren't really into sitcoms anymore. Like if you think about it, what sitcoms as adults are we watching right now? Our sitcom energy is sucked into all of these reality shows. Like what sitcoms are black folks watching right now? Like we
Criminal
just ran it
Minds. I
down.
still watch Criminal Minds. Is Criminal Minds a sitcom?
It is not a sitcom. I'm gonna tell you what sitcoms are trying. So right now, CBS, which all of a sudden how CBS started getting black folks to watch CBS. But CBS now, I think The Neighborhood with Cedric Entertainer has been on now for 5+ years. And they're getting ready to release a sitcom that's going to be Damon Wayans Jr. and Damon Wayans. They're going to be on a show together. But think about it. All the shows that black folks talk about, all the shows that black folks are watching are crime drama type stuff. It's The Shies. It's all of that.
Criminal Minds.
Right. So now you going about it and saying Martin is going to do a prequel that might be like Everybody Hates Chris, maybe shot cinematically the way they're doing Bel Air, because people know there's a different way to shoot stuff. The way the cameras you use in a comedy comparison to. So hey, we'll see. Looking at Martin,
I'm not going to watch it. I don't think that's going to be appealing to viewers because again, we are taking the same exact thing that was very unique when they did Bel Air and we're just copying the formula. And I think a lot of people are starting to really not like that copying the formula thing. It used to be cool to do, and now people are just they spot it. People spot it right away. They didn't used to, but now people spot it right away.
We'll see. And once again, I think that comes back. It's a whole different show. Whereas white folks are doing this all day long. They are going back and getting their heroes because when it's all said and done, the people who are making the decisions now that are in their 40s and 50s, these are their heroes. Like the black executives that are sitting in Hollywood and Atlanta saying, what are we going to do next? They grew up on Martin, right? Just like white folks grew up on Full House and all these other shows that now they're going from being kids to now being the parents. They got their own kids and they're making money and redoing and doing podcasts. Why can't we do the same thing? I want to see. I was surprisingly, I was happily surprised at how well Bel Air was done. And now I'm looking at it and saying, because Coco Jones is such a big R&B star now, is she the one that's delaying the next production of the next season? Because now I guess
She probably is.
she probably is, right? So when is that coming back? Because it was good. I thought it was well done to take that comedy series and turn it into a drama, and they really did it really, really well. All right, y'all. What else you
One
got?
more thing.
All right.
I cannot, just so everybody's aware, I'm not sure if it's coming out on the TV show or the show, but Black Captain America comes out soon too. That trailer just dropped. And it sure it
Is
has
it real? Because I saw it flash across my feed, and I thought it was somebody faking. So it's real.
no, Anthony Mackie is the new Captain America. They got
Well, I know
passed
he's the
over
new
by
Captain America, but the new movie is ready to come out. So okay.
ready to come out, starring Richard Gere. I love me
Okay.
some Richard. Is it Richard Gere? No, Harrelson Ford. I get my old men mixed up. Harrelson
Your
Ford.
old handsome white dudes mixed up. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's good.
So-
I'm saying it's about time because I don't know what Marvel is. We talked about this a couple weeks ago with Jonathan Major dancing and crying on Ayanna Van Zandt's shoulder. But we don't.
And then pretending he's a Q.
Piecing about
That was